Rian stepped out of his small starship onto the soft, glowing plains of the border world called Navara. The sky above shimmered in pale green and gold streaks, making the horizon look like it was alive. He adjusted the strap of his equipment bag and took a deep breath. Navara was quiet, far from the busy trade routes of the inner systems. Most humans avoided it because of the rumors of isolation, strange wildlife, and unexplored ruins. Rian had chosen this world because of a simple message he had received days ago, a message that made little sense at first. The message was short. Human, my mother needs a spouse and I need a father. Please visit us. Tari Rian had read it over and over. He could not understand why a child would make such a request, and yet the tone was urgent. The coordinates led him here, and despite his confusion, he felt a strange pull to follow them. He glanced at the landscape again. The plains were dotted with luminous plants, their long stems bending slightly as if greeting him. Strange shapes moved in the distance. Some looked like birds, others like small four-legged creatures, but all glowed faintly. He began walking toward the nearest cluster of dwellings. The structures were unusual. They appeared to grow out of the ground like crystal formations, smooth and curved, blending naturally with the environment. Humans usually built rigid structures of metal or stone, but these were soft, elegant, and alive in their appearance. Rian felt a mix of wonder and caution as he approached. He had learned from experience that beauty on an unknown world often hid danger. A small figure appeared ahead. She was not much taller than Rian's knee, with skin that seemed to shimmer like moonlight and large bright eyes that reflected curiosity and intelligence. It was clear this was Tari, the sender of the message. She stepped forward with a wide smile, her small hands waving eagerly. "You came," she said, her voice high and clear. There was no fear in it, only hope. "I did," Rian replied, kneeling slightly to meet her eye level. "You are Tari?" She nodded, bouncing lightly. "Yes, thank you for coming. My mother's waiting for you. She needs your help, and I need a father. Please, follow me." Rian hesitated for a moment. He had seen strange customs in his travels, but never a child asking a complete stranger to step into her family's life. Still, there was something in her eyes that made him trust her. "All right," he said finally. "Lead the way." Tari ran ahead, small feet making no sound on the glowing ground. Rian followed, taking care not to disturb the flora. As they walked, she began to explain. "We are Luma. We are peaceful. Our planet is quiet because we do not fight. But our leaders, they disappeared and our people are afraid. My mother tries to help, but she cannot do everything alone. That is why I asked you to come. Humans are strong, brave, and clever. You can help her. Help us." Rian listened carefully. He had met many species before, but the Luma seemed different. Their skin reflected light, their bodies were delicate, yet their eyes held depth and intelligence. It was not just physical strength they lacked, but a kind of authority that came from being united. He glanced at Tari, whose small face was serious despite her youth. Her plea was simple but clear. Soon they arrived at a larger structure in the distance. It glowed softly with a golden hue, taller than the other homes, curving high like a natural tower. Tari ran to the entrance, waving him to follow. "This is where my mother lives. She will explain everything." Rian stepped inside. The interior was breathtaking. Light flowed from the walls, shifting in patterns that resembled the stars outside. The air was warm and carried a faint fragrance, sweet but not overpowering. At the center of the room stood Mira, Tari's mother. She was tall and graceful, with silver-tinted skin that seemed to glow faintly. Her eyes were kind but tired, reflecting years of responsibility. She looked at Rian and inclined her head in greeting. "Welcome, Rian," she said softly. Her voice had a musical quality, and every word seemed to carry calm authority. "Tari has told you part of the story, I believe." "Yes," Rian said, trying to maintain composure. "She sent a message. I admit I did not understand it completely. Why does she think I should help?" Mira smiled faintly, a mixture of sadness and hope. "Because humans have a quality that our people admire. Courage, determination, and a willingness to act when others hesitate. Our world faces challenges beyond our ability to manage alone. Your presence here is not a demand, but an opportunity. You can help lead us, protect us, and support our people. Tari, she wishes for more than protection. She wishes for a father figure. That is why she sent the message, Rian swallowed. The request was unusual, even overwhelming. He had never considered entering a family, let alone one on a distant alien world. And yet he felt a pull he could not explain. Perhaps it was curiosity, perhaps empathy, or perhaps the sense that fate had led him here. Tari tugged gently at his sleeve. "Please," she whispered. "I trust you. You can help. You can stay with us. You can help my mother and help me." Rian looked at Mira. Her eyes were calm, but behind them lay the weight of leadership. She had not begged him. She had stated facts, explained the need, and now waited for his choice. Rian realized that this was as much about courage as it was about kindness. He nodded slowly. "I will stay," he said finally. "I will learn, I will help, and I will protect your people if I can. I do not know everything about your world, but I will try." "Yes." Myra's eyes softened with gratitude. "That is all we ask. Welcome to our home, Rian." For the next hours, Rian learned about the Luma. Mira explained that the planet had no formal military. The Luma were scholars, farmers, and caretakers of technology passed down through generations. They had relied on alliances and wisdom to maintain peace. But recently, threats had emerged in the neighboring star systems. A faction called the Iron Reach had begun aggressive expansion. They saw the Luma as weak and easy to control. "Our people are unprepared," Mira said. "We have knowledge and skill, but we lack strength and unity. That is why Tari sent the message. That is why I accepted your presence." Rian nodded. He understood. Strength alone was not enough. Leadership required strategy, courage, and the ability to inspire others. Humans had it, but they also had to learn the ways of the Luma to be effective here. Tari bounced excitedly. "Can you see, Rian? You can help. You can teach us, lead us, and stay with us. I can have a father. And my mother. She will have support." Rian smiled at her, feeling a warmth he had not felt in years. He knelt beside her and touched her shoulder gently. "We will figure this out together, Tari. I will help. I promise." Mira watched silently, proud of her daughter, and cautiously hopeful about the human who had stepped into their lives. "It will not be simple," she said. "The Iron Reach will come. We must prepare our people. But if we stand together, we can protect our home and our future." That evening, Rian walked outside with Tari. The sky was now darker, the green and gold streaks brighter. Strange lights moved in the distance, signaling distant moons, or perhaps distant travelers. Rian breathed deeply, feeling the alien air fill his lungs. This was a world of challenges, mysteries, and opportunities. Here, he could not rely only on his experience. He would have to learn, adapt, and grow. Tari pointed toward the horizon. "You see that? One day, you will lead with us. My mother, you, me, we can be a family. And not just a family, Rian. We can protect our galaxy together." Rian nodded. His heart felt heavier and lighter at the same time. He had come seeking answers to a strange message, and now he had found purpose. Helping the Luma meant more than survival. It meant showing that humans could bring hope, courage, and unity to worlds far beyond their own as night fell over Navara. Rian knew this was the beginning of a journey that would change not only his life, but the lives of countless others across the galaxy. He looked at Mira's home, glowing softly under the twin moons, and made a silent promise to Tari. He would try his best to be the father she hoped for. He would help her mother lead their people, and together they would face whatever challenges the universe sent. The stars above Navara twinkled like distant beacons, and Rian felt for the first time in a long while that he truly belonged somewhere. The morning on Navara was calm, but Rian felt a quiet tension in the air. The plains glowed gently under the twin suns, and the strange plants swayed like dancers in a breeze that barely existed. He walked beside Mira, following her to the council chamber at the center of the city. The structure rose from the ground like a living crystal, smooth and elegant. Its walls seemed to pulse slightly with light as they moved inside. Mira led him to a large circular room. Around its perimeter sat a group of Luma elders, their faces serene but serious. Each had silver or gold-tinted skin and eyes that seemed to shine from within. They greeted Rian with bows, nods, and careful looks. None spoke immediately. Rian Mira began, her voice carrying clearly. These are the leaders of our people. They have questions, and they need to understand why a human has come to guide us. Rian bowed slightly. I am here to help in any way I can. I do not claim to know everything about your people, but I will learn quickly and act wisely. One of the elders, a tall figure with gold skin named Sorrel, spoke. Humans are rare visitors in this sector. Many species fear your kind. Why do you come here not as a warrior, but as a guide for a mother and her child? Rian took a deep breath. I came because of a message. A child asked for help, and her mother leads her people. I could not ignore it. I believe every life deserves protection, and every people deserve the chance to survive and grow. I came because I can help in both ways. Sorrel's eyes studied him closely. You speak with sincerity, but do you understand the threat we face? The Iron Reach has begun to expand. They see us as weak. They will not hesitate to destroy us if we cannot defend ourselves. What makes you think you can help us? Rian glanced at Myra. She nodded slightly, a gesture that gave him courage. I do not claim I can do everything alone, but I know humans can adapt, fight smart, and inspire others. I can train your people, organize defenses, and help you make decisions to strengthen unity. Together, we can stand against the Iron Reach. The elders exchanged glances. Their murmurs were soft but thoughtful. One younger member, Lyra, spoke up. You speak as if you understand honor and responsibility. That is unusual for outsiders. Still, it is not enough. How will you gain the trust of our people quickly? Rian smiled faintly. I will show them by action. Words are important, but deeds matter more. I will train with them, fight with them, and protect them. I will not ask them to follow blindly, but I will prove that standing together makes us strong. Sorrel nodded slowly. Very well. You will begin today. The Luma guards are ready to learn. But remember, Rian, your success depends on respect, not fear. Do you understand? I understand, Rian said firmly. Mira guided Rian to the training grounds, an open area shaped like a wide circle. The Luma guards waited quietly. They were tall, slender, and moved with a grace that was natural to their kind. Some carried small energy weapons, but most relied on shields, intelligence, and teamwork. They had skill, but little experience with combat beyond minor conflicts. Rian looked at them and took a deep breath. We start with teamwork exercises. You must learn to anticipate each other's movements, communicate clearly, and trust your instincts. Humans and Luma fight differently, but we can combine our strengths. The training began slowly. Rian demonstrated simple drills first. He moved in patterns, showing how to anticipate attacks, how to coordinate blocks and shields, and how to strike with precision. At first, the Luma struggled. Their bodies were designed for agility and grace, not brute force. Some guards stumbled, others overcomplicated the movements. Rian adjusted, demonstrating each step carefully and praising small successes. Tari watched from the sidelines, her eyes bright with pride. He is teaching them so well, she whispered to Mira. He will help us fight. He will be the father I hope for. Mira smiled faintly. He is patient. That is important. But patience alone will not save us. The Iron Reach will test every strength we have. Hours passed, and the Luma began to improve. They moved more confidently, anticipating each other's moves. Rian encouraged them, pushing them to think creatively and to use their natural abilities. By the afternoon, they were running complex drills, dodging, defending, and striking in harmony. Good, Rian said, wiping sweat from his brow. You see your potential? You are stronger than you realize. Keep this up, and you will not fear the Iron Reach. As the training ended, an alarm sounded. Lights flashed in the distance, signaling movement near the borders of Navarra. Mira's face grew serious. They are scouting. The Iron Reach has not yet attacked in force, but they are testing us. Rian and Mira ran toward the monitoring station. Screens displayed small ships moving at high speed. The Iron Reach scouts were observing, probing defenses, and testing response times. Rian studied their formation and pointed to weak points. We can intercept them before they report back. We must act quickly, but carefully. Show them we are not helpless. Mira nodded. Yes, prepare the guards. Together, Rian and Mira organized a small team to intercept the scouts. Humans had a different approach to combat, relying on calculated risk and bold maneuvers, while the Luma preferred defense and evasion. Rian taught them to combine the two. They set up ambush points, used the terrain to their advantage, and prepared traps that required intelligence rather than brute force. The scouts arrived faster than expected. Small, agile ships, moving in perfect formation. Rian gave signals, and the Luma executed the plan flawlessly. The scouts were caught in energy nets, forced to retreat, and unable to send immediate reports. The Luma cheered quietly, proud of their success. Tari hugged Rian's leg. You did it. You saved us. You are already my father. I know it. Rian smiled, patting her head. We did it together, Tari. Remember that. This is only the beginning. Mira looked at him, her eyes reflecting respect. You are teaching them more than fighting. You are giving them hope. That is worth more than victory alone. That evening, Rian sat with Mira and Tari in the glowing garden outside their home. The stars above Navarra shone brightly, reflecting off the luminous plants. Rian thought about the day, the training, the scouts, and the small victories that felt larger than they were. You did well, Mira said softly. But the Iron Reach will not stop. They will come with more forces. We must prepare not only to defend, but to inspire. Our people must believe that we can survive and lead. Rian nodded. I understand. That is why I came. I will help you train, guide, and lead. We will not only defend this planet, but set an example for others. Humans in Luma can show the galaxy that courage and unity are stronger than fear. Tari leaned against him, looking up at the stars. And one day, when the galaxy sees us together, they will know that family can be strength too. My mother, you, me, we can face anything. Rian felt a warmth in his chest. He had traveled through many star systems, fought in battles, and faced countless dangers. But this was different. Here, he was not just a soldier. He was part of something greater, a chance to protect a people, to be a father, and to help a mother lead her people. Mira placed a hand on his shoulder. Rest tonight. Tomorrow, the real work begins. The Iron Reach will test us, and we must be ready. But I have faith in you, Rian. You have already shown us the path forward. Rian looked at the glowing horizon. The future was uncertain, and the challenges were immense, but he felt ready. With Mira and Tari by his side, he knew they could face anything. This was the beginning of a new chapter not only for him, but for the entire planet of Navarra. As night deepened, Rian reflected on the strange message that had brought him here. He realized that sometimes the most unexpected requests could lead to the most important journeys. Helping this family, leading these people, and defending the galaxy were no longer distant ideas. They were here, tangible and waiting for action. He closed his eyes, listening to the soft hum of Navarra's life. Somewhere in the stars, the Iron Reach was preparing. But here, on this quiet border world, a human had arrived. A child had hope. A mother had support. And together, they would face the challenges of the galaxy with courage, wisdom, and unity. The next morning, the sky over Navarra glowed with soft green and gold hues. But the calm was misleading. Rian walked through the city streets with Mira, observing the Luma citizens going about their work. Despite their serene appearance, he noticed tension in their movements. Mothers called their children closer. Traders watched the skies nervously. Guards moved in calculated patterns, scanning the horizon. Everyone was aware of the looming threat from the Iron Reach. Your people are cautious, Rian said quietly to Mira. They are strong, but fear holds them back sometimes. Mira nodded. We have lived in peace for generations. Change comes slowly, and fear of the unknown has always shaped our decisions. But now, the unknown has arrived in the form of ships beyond our borders. Rian considered this. He had faced countless battles and wars, yet what he saw here was different. The Luma did not want to fight, yet their survival depended on courage and strategy. This meant teaching more than combat. It meant teaching confidence, unity, and trust. He spent the morning with Tari, showing her small drills that combined strategy with quick thinking. You must learn to observe, he told her. Notice patterns, predict movements, and communicate clearly. This will help you help your mother and your people. Tari nodded seriously, absorbing every word. I will learn everything. I want to help protect everyone. I want to make you proud, Rian. Rian smiled. You already make me proud. Courage comes in many forms, Tari. Yours is here. He tapped his chest. And here. By midday, alarms sounded again. Small vessels approached the edge of Navara space, moving fast and precise. The Iron Reach had returned, testing the borders and sending signals to probe defenses. Mira gathered Rian and the council at the monitoring station. They are scouting again, Mira said calmly, though tension lined her face. But this time, they are closer. They are trying to find weak points. Rian studied the ships on the display. There are 10 vessels. They are fast, but not large. We can intercept them before they report back. We need precision and coordination. The Luma must trust themselves as much as they trust me. The council members exchanged glances. Sorrel, always cautious, spoke first. Rian, we must avoid unnecessary risk. Our people are untrained for large battles. If you plan to engage, be certain it is calculated. I am certain, Rian replied. We will use our strengths, not theirs. Agility, intelligence, and teamwork. This is not about fighting alone. It is about showing the Iron Reach that we are united and capable. Mira nodded in agreement. Prepare the defenders. We will support you with every resource available. Rian led a group of Luma guards to the outskirts of the city. He gave them clear instructions. Position yourselves along these paths. Use the natural terrain. Luma shields are strong, and your agility is your advantage. Wait for my signal. Coordination is key. Strike together, retreat together, and communicate constantly. The Iron Reach scouts arrived faster than anticipated. Their ships were sleek, dark, and precise, scanning the landscape for weaknesses. Rian gave a signal, and the Luma guards moved into position with surprising speed. The first wave of ships passed through the valley, expecting minimal resistance. Rian's team launched nets of energy that disabled 2 vessels instantly. The other ships maneuvered aggressively, but Rian had predicted their movements. He led small squads to flank the vessels, using the terrain and Luma agility to their advantage. Tara watched from a secure observation post, her heart racing. They are doing it. They are defending Navara. Rian, look at them. Rian's voice came through the cum. Stay focused, Tari. Watch and learn. Observe every move. Courage is not enough. Understanding is power. By the end of the engagement, the scouts were forced to retreat. Several were damaged beyond repair, while the others fled back toward their fleet. The Luma guards cheered quietly, proud of their first successful defense. Mira approached Rian as the sun began to set. You are teaching them more than combat, she said. You are giving them hope. The Iron Reach will not stop. They will return with larger forces, and they will test us in ways we cannot yet predict. Are you prepared for what comes next? Rian looked at the glowing horizon. I am prepared to stand with your people. This is more than defense. It is leadership, strategy, and courage. We will face them together. Your people will learn to trust themselves and each other. That is what will make us strong. The next days were filled with preparation. Rian worked tirelessly with the Luma, combining human tactics with their unique abilities. They practiced maneuvers that required speed and precision. They built energy barriers and traps in the plains surrounding the city. They learned to coordinate movements silently, relying on subtle signals and patterns. Tari proved herself as well. Small as she was, her ability to observe and communicate made her invaluable. She helped coordinate defenders, signal danger, and relay information between groups. Her courage inspired others, showing that age and size did not determine the ability to contribute. Rian spent time with Mira, discussing strategies and alliances. "The Iron Reach will come in force," he said. "We must consider not only defense, but diplomacy. There are nearby systems that fear them. If we reach out, we can form alliances. The galaxy is not watching Navara alone. We must use every advantage." Mira nodded thoughtfully. "We have long avoided alliances for fear of conflict, but perhaps you are right. To survive, we must expand our vision. Not just for Navara, but for our people's place in the galaxy." One evening, as the twin moons rose, Rian stood atop a cliff, looking at the glowing plains. He thought about the Iron Reach and their relentless pursuit of control. He thought about Mira and Tari and the trust they had placed in him. This was more than a mission. It was a promise. A promise to protect, to guide, and to show that humans could be a force of hope. It's not just destruction. A message arrived from the outer monitoring station. The Iron Reach fleet was moving closer, large and organized. Sensors picked up dozens of vessels, warships of many sizes, preparing for an assault. Rian's heart sank slightly, but he did not falter. "We knew this day would come," he said to Myra. "We have prepared as best we can. Now, we must act decisively. Our people must see that courage and unity can overcome fear and numbers. We will stand together." Mira placed a hand on his arm. "I trust you, Rian. Our people will follow because they see your courage, your wisdom, and your care. Together we will face whatever comes." Rian spent the night going over every detail of the defense. He trained squads until they moved with perfect coordination. He checked supplies, communication lines, and energy barriers. He also spoke to citizens, calming fears and inspiring confidence. The Luma had always valued peace, but they now began to understand that peace required strength to protect it. Tari stood beside him, holding a small device that transmitted signals across the city. "I will help too, Rian. I will guide them. I will help protect Navara." "You already are helping," Rian said, smiling. "Bravery comes in many forms. Today, you are a leader, even as a child. That is what makes a difference." Morning arrived, and the Iron Reach fleet was visible on the horizon, dark silhouettes against the green-gold sky. Rian stood with Mira and Tari, overlooking the plains where the first lines of defense were prepared. Guards took their positions, energy barriers humming with power, signals ready to coordinate every movement. "Remember," Rian said firmly, "this is not only about fighting. This is about showing our people that they can stand together. Trust in each other. Trust in yourselves. And trust that courage is stronger than fear." The fleet began its approach, and Rian's team moved with precision. Energy nets, traps, and defensive formations slowed the enemy advance. The Luma moved with confidence, previous hesitation replaced by the strength that came from Rian's guidance. The first clash was swift and decisive. The Iron Reach underestimated the Luma and their human-trained tactics. Small ships were intercepted before they could reach the city. Larger ships were forced to adjust their paths, and communication between their vessels became confused. Rian led small groups to flank the enemy, using terrain and clever maneuvers to disable vessels without unnecessary destruction. Mira watched from the command center, proud of how her people adapted. "They are learning faster than I imagined," she said. "Your methods, Rian, are changing them. Not just as fighters, but as leaders of their own destiny." Tari cheered quietly, signaling defenders with excitement and clarity. "We are winning. We are really winning." Rian smiled. "Yes, but remember, victory comes from preparation, coordination, and unity. Keep moving, keep thinking, and keep trusting each other." By the end of the day, the Iron Reach scouts were retreating again. This time, they had lost multiple ships. The defenders of Navara had gained confidence and trust in their abilities. As the twin moons rose over the city, Rian looked at Myra and Tari. This is only the beginning. The Iron Reach will return, larger and stronger. But we now know our strength, and our people have seen what we can do together. Tomorrow, we prepare for the next challenge. Together, we will protect our people. Together, we will face the galaxy with courage. And together, we will show that unity and hope are stronger than fear. Rian put a hand on Tari's shoulder. And we will always stand together. You, me, your mother, and your people. That is how we will succeed. The following morning, Navarra glowed with calm and quiet. The twin suns shone softly on the luminous plains, yet the tension in the air was undeniable. Rian stood at the edge of the city, overlooking the horizon where small disturbances still indicated the Iron Reach had forces nearby. Today was not a day for simple training. Today was a day to prepare for a larger conflict. Rian walked alongside Mira through the city streets, observing the people as they moved with purpose. The citizens had changed since he had arrived. They no longer hesitated when called to action. Guards moved with precise coordination, traders carried messages with speed. And even children like Tari took small but significant roles in communication and alert systems. Rian's heart swelled with pride. But he knew this was only the beginning. Our people are ready for more than defense now, Mira said quietly, her eyes scanning the horizon. They trust themselves, and they trust each other. But the Iron Reach will come stronger. Are you sure we can face them, Rian? Rian nodded firmly. Yes. Today we train them to act as a single unit. We reinforce their courage, sharpen their tactics, and teach them how to respond to larger threats. They already have strength. We will show them how to use it wisely. They arrived at the main training ground, where squads of Luma guards waited, lined in careful formation. Rian turned to address them. Today we practice advanced coordination. You have defended against scouts before, but the next attack will be larger. You will face multiple waves of ships at once. You must act together as one mind, with precision and speed. Everyone has a role. Trust each other, and trust your training. The Luma nodded silently. Rian knew words alone could not instill confidence. He demonstrated formations, movement patterns, and energy net deployments. He combined human strategies with the Luma's natural agility, showing them how to flank enemies, cover weak points, and adapt when plans failed. Tari stood nearby, observing carefully. I will help coordinate, she said. I can guide defenders and send signals. I can be part of the team. You're already part of the team, Rian said. Your eyes, your mind, and your courage make a difference. Today, we learned together. Hours passed as drills continued. The Luma began to move with precision, anticipating one another's actions. Rian noticed their confidence growing with each success. Even minor mistakes became lessons, quickly corrected by coordinated responses. In the late afternoon, alarms sounded. Sensors detected multiple ships approaching at high speed. The Iron Reach had launched a small strike, testing the city's coordination and reaction. Rian quickly organized squads into defensive formations, placing energy barriers in critical positions and assigning rapid response teams to intercept the ships. Remember, Rian said, this is not just about defeating them. This is about showing that we can act decisively together. Confidence and communication are our greatest weapons. The first wave of ships arrived. They moved with speed and aggression, attempting to find weak points in the defenses. Rian's teams intercepted them efficiently, using energy nets, traps, and coordinated attacks. The Luma moved like a single organism, their agility enhanced by human tactics. Mira watched from the command center, directing support and relaying instructions. They are performing better than I expected, she said quietly. Your guidance is changing them, Rian. They are not only fighting, they are leading themselves. Tari signaled from her post, guiding squads and alerting teams to danger. They are listening, Rian. Look, they are moving perfectly. Rian smiled. Yes, coordination and courage. That is what makes a team strong. Remember that, Tari. It is not size or strength alone that wins battles. It is trust, strategy, and unity. The Iron Reach scouts were forced to retreat again, unable to breach the city defenses. Several ships were damaged, and the remaining forces regrouped far from Navarra. The Luma cheered quietly, proud of their success. As evening fell, Rian and Mira walked through the city, observing the people. Citizens moved with purpose, no longer hesitant or fearful. Traders shared supplies efficiently, guards trained new recruits, and children carried messages and signals with pride. Navarra had changed, and Rian knew it was only the beginning. "We are ready for more than defense now," Rian said. "We must consider offense, strategy beyond our borders, and alliances. If the Iron Reach sees that we can defend ourselves effectively, they may hesitate to strike further. We need to show strength, not just in battle, but in leadership and unity." Mira nodded. "We have avoided alliances before for fear of conflict. But perhaps you are right. To survive, we must extend our vision. The galaxy is larger than Navarra, and threats extend beyond our borders." Rian spent the next few days coordinating with Mira to prepare for larger challenges. They trained defenders in advanced maneuvers, built fortified positions using energy barriers and natural terrain, and simulated attacks that required rapid adaptation. Every member of the city participated, from young children to elders. Learning their roles and understanding the importance of coordination, Tara proved to be a natural leader. Small as she was, her ability to observe patterns, relay information, and communicate quickly made her invaluable. She inspired other children and young adults, showing that courage and intelligence were not determined by age. Rian often worked beside her, teaching her strategies and reinforcing her confidence. One evening, Rian and Myra stood on a cliff overlooking the city. The sky was filled with stars, and the glowing plains stretched far into the distance. "The Iron Reach will return," Mira said. "We have delayed them, but not defeated them. We must be ready for their next move." Rian nodded. "We are ready. Today, your people have shown courage and skill. Tomorrow, they will be stronger. We will face the Iron Reach together, and we will show that unity, courage, and intelligence are more powerful than fear." Tari joined them, her small hands resting on Rian's arm. "I am ready, Rian. I want to help protect Navarra. I want to help my mother. I want to help everyone." "You already are," Rian said, smiling. "Your courage inspires others. Leadership is not about commanding. It is about showing the way. Today, you are showing the way." The next morning, sensors detected a massive fleet approaching. This time, the Iron Reach came in force, dozens of ships moving in formation, warships of all sizes. Myra called the council, and Rian stood beside her, prepared to guide the city's defenses. "This is it," Rian said calmly. "We have trained for this moment. We know the terrain, the formations, and the capabilities of our people. We fight not just with weapons, but with courage, unity, and intelligence. Everyone has a role. Trust in each other, and we will succeed." The fleet advanced, but Rian's preparations were precise. Energy nets, traps, and defensive formations slowed the advance. Small strike teams flanked the enemy, targeting weak points and using speed to disrupt their formations. The Luma moved with confidence, striking and retreating in perfect coordination. Myra directed support from the command center, communicating with Rian and the defenders. "They are performing better than I imagined. Your training is remarkable." Relayed signals quickly, guiding teams and warning of danger. "They are listening, Rian. Look, they are responding perfectly." The Iron Reach attempted to regroup, but the defenders of Navarra were now skilled, coordinated, and confident. They had learned to anticipate attacks, communicate silently, and use every advantage of terrain and technology. The battle was long and challenging, but victory remained within reach. As the sun began to set, the Iron Reach retreated. Several vessels were lost or damaged, and the remaining ships withdrew to regroup. The Luma cheered, proud of their defense. Rian turned to Mira. "This is a victory, but it is only one step. The Iron Reach will return. We must continue training, preparing, and leading. Our people have seen their strength, and we have shown them courage and unity. That is what will carry us forward." Mira smiled, placing a hand on his arm. You are teaching them more than combat. You are teaching them hope, trust, and leadership. With you here, we are stronger than ever. Tari hugged Rian's leg. We did it. We defended Navarra, and we will do it again. I am proud of you, Rian. You are my father now, and I know we can face anything together. Rian smiled, patting her head gently. Yes, Tari, together, we can face anything. And we will. You, your mother, and your people. That is how we will protect this world and the galaxy. As the twin moons rose over Navarra, Rian looked at the glowing plains, feeling a sense of purpose stronger than ever. He had arrived as a stranger, guided by a simple message, and now he stood as a leader, a protector, and a father figure. The challenges ahead would be greater, but together they had proven that courage, unity, and intelligence could overcome even the most daunting threats. The morning on Navarra was bright, but the atmosphere carried a heavy weight. Rian stood at the highest observation point in the city, looking toward the distant horizon. The Iron Reach fleet had returned, larger and more organized than ever. Ships of all sizes moved with precision, warships bristling with weapons, carrying the intent to conquer and dominate. This was the day the Luma and Rian had prepared for. Mira joined him, standing tall and calm. They have come with full force, she said. This will be the greatest test our people have faced. Are we ready, Rian? Rian turned to her, determination in his eyes. We are ready because we are united. The Luma have learned courage, teamwork, and trust. They will fight as one, and we will show the Iron Reach that strength comes from more than weapons. It comes from hope, unity, and the willingness to stand together. Tari ran up to them, her small hands clenching in determination. I am ready to Rian. I will help protect everyone. I will guide the defenders. I will make my mother proud. You already make me proud, Tari, Rian said, kneeling to her level. Your courage and intelligence are part of what will save this world today. Remember what I taught you: observe, communicate, and trust those around you. You are a leader in your own right. Mira smiled at them both, her heart swelling with pride. This is more than battle. This is the future of our people. Stand strong, Rian. We will face this together. The Iron Reach fleet moved closer, dark shapes against the shimmering sky. Rian activated the city's defenses. Energy barriers hummed to life, forming protective walls around key points. Defensive turrets rotated smoothly, aimed at likely flight paths. He organized teams into rapid response units, each ready to act in coordination. Remember, Rian addressed the defenders. Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for our families, our people, and our freedom. Move with precision, trust your training, and watch each other's backs. Courage alone is not enough. We fight together as one mind, one heart, one people. The first wave of Iron Reach ships approached quickly. They moved aggressively, expecting the Luma to falter. Rian signaled, and the defenders executed the strategies they had practiced for weeks. Energy nets ensnared small ships, flanking teams intercepted attack formations, and rapid maneuvers forced larger vessels to adjust their course. Mira coordinated from the command center, giving orders that complemented Rian's leadership. They are responding well, she said. Your strategy is giving our people confidence. This is what they needed to believe in themselves. Tari relayed signals from the observation post, alerting defenders to enemy movements. They are adjusting. Look, they are using the formations we practiced. Rian nodded. Good. Every move matters. Stay focused and act as one. Today we teach the Iron Reach a lesson they will never forget. The Iron Reach launched a concentrated assault on one flank, attempting to break the defenses. Rian led a small strike team to intercept, using terrain and energy barriers to their advantage. Luma guards moved with perfect timing, dodging attacks and coordinating strikes. The enemy ships faltered, their movements disrupted by unexpected tactics and unity. Mira's calm voice guided reinforcements. Position the barriers. Send the flanking squads. Anticipate their moves. Tari signaled rapidly, keeping defenders coordinated. They are responding perfectly. Keep moving. We can do this. Hours passed in relentless action. The Iron Reach attacked wave after wave, but each time, the defenders responded with precision and courage. Rion moved among them, encouraging, guiding, and joining in every maneuver. The Luma had grown from uncertain citizens into confident, skilled defenders. During a brief pause, Rian looked at Mira. They are stronger than I imagined. They have learned to fight, but more importantly, they have learned to believe in themselves. Mira nodded. And they have learned that courage comes from unity. Today our people are not only defending Navarra, they are shaping their future. As the sun began to set, the final wave of the Iron Reach fleet approached. This was the largest and most dangerous group, carrying heavily armed vessels designed to overpower defenses. Rian stood at the front line, leading the charge. Remember everything we practiced. Every move counts. Today, we show the galaxy that the Luma will not be defeated, and that courage and unity are stronger than fear. The battle began with intensity. Explosions lit the sky as energy weapons clashed. Luma and human strategies combined flawlessly. Small strike teams disabled key vessels, while defensive formations held the city safe. Rion coordinated every action, anticipating enemy movements and adapting quickly. Mira directed the command center, ensuring support and guidance reached every unit. Her calm presence strengthened the defenders, showing that leadership was not only about orders, but about confidence and resolve. Tara watched from her observation post, her hands flying over controls. Keep moving. Follow the signals. We can do this. Rion led a daring maneuver, flanking the enemy's main ships and cutting off their support. The Iron Reach forces were confused and disorganized. For the first time, they faced a coordinated defense that could match their strength and challenge their strategy. As the battle continued, the defenders' courage and unity shone through. Every successful maneuver inspired others. Energy nets captured enemy ships, flanking squads disrupted formations. And the coordinated efforts of Luma and humans created a chain reaction of success. Mira watched with pride. They are not only defending, they are leading themselves. Rian, you have shown them the path. Today, they are more than defenders. They are heroes, Tar cheered, signaling the final coordinated strike. We are winning. The Iron Reach cannot break us. Keep going. With a final combined effort, the defenders forced the Iron Reach to retreat. Several warships were destroyed, and the remainder fled, unable to regroup. Navarra stood victorious. Rian looked over the city and the plains, glowing softly in the moonlight. This is more than a victory. This is proof that courage, unity, and intelligence can overcome fear and force. Today, we did not just defend Navarro. We showed that humans and Luma together can lead, protect, and inspire. Mira approached him, placing a hand on his arm. You have not only helped protect our people, Rian, you have helped them see their own strength. Today, they learned that leadership comes from courage, trust, and unity. With you by our side, we are stronger than ever. Tari ran up to him, her small arms wrapped around his leg. You did it, Rian. You are my father now, and we've protected our home together. I am so proud. Rian knelt and hugged her. Yes, Tari, we did it together. You, your mother, and your people. We all fought as one. That is what makes us strong. The people of Navarra gathered, celebrating quietly but joyfully. It was a victory for their city, their families, and their future. They had faced overwhelming odds, and they had prevailed not just because of weapons, but because of courage, unity, and trust in one another. Myra addressed the citizens. Today, we have proven that fear cannot rule us. Today, we have shown that strength comes from hope, unity, and courage. We will continue to lead, to protect, and to inspire. Our people have learned their power, and the galaxy has seen it too. Rian stood beside her. This is only the beginning. The Iron Reach may return, but now they know that the Luma and humans together are a force to be respected. We have shown that hope, courage, and unity can overcome any threat. Tari held his hand, her eyes shining. We will be ready next time. Together, we can face anything. As night fell over Navarra, the twin moons reflected the calm glow of the city. Rian, Mira, and Tari stood together, looking out at the plains and the stars beyond. They had faced impossible odds and emerged victorious. The Luma had grown stronger, braver, and wiser. Humans had shown that they could lead with courage and care, and together they had proven that the future of the galaxy could be shaped by unity, hope, and courage. Rian took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility but also the strength of purpose. "We have protected our home today," he said softly. "But more than that, we have built a future. Our people have learned what they can achieve when they trust themselves. Trust each other and trust the courage within them." Mira placed her hand on his shoulder, "And we will continue to guide them. Together, we will face whatever comes next. Today, you became more than a protector. You became a leader, a father, and a symbol of hope." Tari hugged both of them, her small arms wrapping around the two figures who had changed her life. "I am happy," she whispered. "We are a family, and we will lead the galaxy together." Rian smiled, looking at Mira and Tari. The journey had been long, the challenges immense, but the reward was greater than he could have imagined. Navarra was safe, its people were united, and the future was bright. Together, they had proven that courage, intelligence, and hope could shape the galaxy. As they looked out at the stars, Rian knew that this was only the beginning. Many challenges still awaited, but with Mira, Tari, and the people of Navarra by his side, he was ready to face them all. The galaxy had seen the strength of humans and Luma together, and the legacy of courage, unity, and hope would carry forward into every corner of the stars. The night sky shimmered over Navarra, and for the first time in many years, the world was at peace. And in that peace, the promise of a brighter future shone brighter than any star.